Hey guys, this is Khalid from Fat Guy Skinny Wallet, and I'm just coming to answer a question. I'm not going to use that Q word that so many of us like to use, but I'm going to ask you guys a question and answer it for myself. How often should you weigh yourself? How often should you get on the scale? That's something. That's something a lot of people talk about, and I think a lot of people struggle with. So I come up with different options that seem to be popular. So there's some people who weigh themselves daily. You know, they just want to see what the changes are. Sometimes weighing yourself daily can help motivate you if you had kind of a rough day or 2 days and then you see that you're off. You can, hey, I need to get back on track, rather than waiting a week or two and then realizing, whoa, I was doing more damage than I thought I was. Oops. You can catch the damage early on by weighing yourself daily. Some people weigh themselves weekly. It seems to be a popular thing with all of these websites, Facebook pages, and YouTube channels that I see. The most common thing is to weigh yourself weekly and to do like a weekly weigh-in, and that's the official weight, and you don't touch the scale for that week. That seems to be a popular thing. Actually, there are a lot of people who do weekly weigh-ins, but they weigh themselves every day. I'm one of them. Actually, I do something different I'll talk about. But yeah, weekly seems to be something that people do. And okay, so here's the problem with doing it daily. We talked about the good things, you catch yourself. The problem with doing it daily is that you can obsess over the weight. And if you have a tremendous workout one day, the next day you expect to be down 2 pounds. And it sometimes puts some unrealistic expectations in your mind, and sometimes it can be difficult to overcome those things. And it can cause you to kind of obsess over weight as if it's the only measure of your health. So it may not be good to do it daily. Weekly, you're kind of in between not catching a problem that you would catch if you were weighing yourself daily, and also and not obsessing. So it seems like you're kind of in between by doing it weekly. So it doesn't seem to be too bad. The one bad thing with doing it weekly is that people, for some reason, expect that at that moment in time, that's when all of the work from the week before should be reflected. So, for instance, you have a great week eating, you have a great week working out, and then you look and you say, the scale is only down 1 pound for this week, but I really thought that I was in the calorie deficit. Every day I had 1,000 calorie deficit, so I should have dropped at least 2 pounds, because a pound, is 3,500 calories. So why didn't I? And then you may go into that not realizing that your body weight fluctuates so much, not just from time to day, but it fluctuates from day to day as well, and different things could impact it. And depending on the type of scale you use, different things outside of even your body can impact what the scale says. So it's hard to catch those things at time. Your weigh-in day may be a Wednesday, and people seem to like that because it starts with a W, I guess. So they do weekly weigh-in Wednesday, and they weigh in, and they're 210 pounds, and oh man, why am I still 210 pounds? And then if they were to weigh themselves Thursday, they would see themselves at 207 pounds. It just didn't kick in. And I've seen wild fluctuations with my weight. I saw my weight go almost 14 pounds over 13 pounds in less than 3 days of fluctuation. There's actually someone on YouTube who did a video, and they made their weight on purpose, made their weight fluctuate over 12 pounds in 1 day. So doing it weekly, you may just catch yourself on a peak. And every day your weight is doing like that. Ooh, like I'm dancing. But anyway, your weight is doing like this, and you catch yourself here, because you weigh yourself Wednesday. And if you weigh yourself daily, you would see the progress. And you don't see it for 2 weeks, and you don't think what you're doing is working, you may get discouraged. Monthly, everything, the negatives that I said about weekly, multiply that by 4, and then you have monthly. You have what the problem can be, is that you weigh yourself on a month. The good thing, though, is that it usually doesn't take a month for your body weight to reflect the work that you've been doing. If you've been burning calories and you've been watching your calories and you've been watching what you eat, again, a calorie is not a calorie. Yes, I said I'll do a video about that and an article. I will soon. But if you're treating your body well and you're being healthy, a month is usually enough time to see some type of downward trend. So you usually don't get those. You usually don't catch yourselves, hey, if you're on a peak, the peak may be 2 pounds from the last week, but it won't be. But you'll still, instead of seeing yourself down 10 pounds for a month, you'll see yourself down 8 pounds, and then you'll still see progress. So monthly seems to be good, but monthly doesn't put the weight in your face, and some people need that kind of a jolt. There's also another school of thought, I guess, that would say never. Don't weigh yourself. Don't ever weigh yourself. Throw away your scale, and the reason why is because it's a pretty poor indicator of your health. I agree to an extent. Weight is a pretty poor indicator of your health, but you know what? Once you purchase a scale, it's free to check your weight. You want to check your blood pressure, it could be free. You want to go down to a drugstore, you have to drive there and burn up your gas, but you have to go down to a drugstore and use one of those free things, and maybe it's accurate, maybe it's not. You can buy some equipment to try to check your blood sugar, and you can do some of those things, but you really have to go get lab work to check some other elaborate things, and they'll be more accurate. So, of course, measuring yourself is good. Trying to do body fat, buy a cheap caliper from Amazon for like $10-12, something like that, and then you can try to measure yourself and do estimates of your body fat percentage that way. There's other things that you can do, and of course clothing, and other non-scale victories. Clothing, people around you, people who haven't seen you in a few months. These are all things you can do to match your to note your progress that don't involve the scale. So you can do some of those things too. So there are people who say that. But you know what? Said the scale is free, number one. The scale is a very easy way to compare because you probably weighed yourself at every point in your life. So before my wedding, before this thing happened, before this other important thing, I weighed this much. When I played sports, I weighed this much. I wrestled in this bracket. Those things. It's very hard to say I wrestled and had a 34-inch waist. You can tell by your clothing, maybe, but it's kind of hard to say those things. My arms were 18 inches when I did that. Now they're 16. Yeah, but you probably on your wedding day didn't measure every part of your body and track that. But you probably knew how much you weighed, especially for the ladies out there. Also, so that's never. Here's another thing. This is something that I do, and there are a few people who do this. They weigh yourself multiple times a day. Now it's kind of like daily. Where you see where you are, you can kind of shock yourself. I do it for fun. I weigh myself daily in the morning. I have a set thing. After I shower, I weigh myself. Whether I worked out before or not, no matter what, I weigh myself before I eat, before I drink, because I can throw the number off. If I have a 200-calorie breakfast that isn't heavy at all one day, and then the next day I have, something that's really heavy. It actually weighs a lot. The plate is heavy, Why did I just picture a waiter coming in and say, hot plate, senor? But anyway, I don't know why. I don't know why I thought a hot plate. But anyway, your plate is actually heavy, and all that heaviness just goes into your body. They're dishes that are 2-3 pounds. And I like to see that. I like to see... So while I weigh myself other parts of the day, I'm just looking to see what did I do. If I work out, I just had a lot of sweat come off me. I wonder how much weight that represented. Wow, I lost 3 pounds just by sweating. Or I'll eat something and say, wow, I ate something, and there you go. Or throughout the day, I drink a gallon of water. I drink more than a gallon every day. And then, I eat. I don't know how much my food really weighs. Maybe a couple pounds. I don't know. But anyway, I like to see what I weigh at the end of the day. I like to see just different times doing different things. I'll put on something, some type of clothing, and say, I wonder how much I weigh now with this. It's fun for me. That's all it is. But I think it does for some people, and even for me, it helps to show, hey, I ate this big thing. I ate a 6-egg omelet, and had these 4 chocolate chip pancakes, and I ate all that, and now I'm going to step on the scale. Whoa, I'm 3 pounds heavier than I was. Like, I really put 3 pounds worth of food into my body. Was that a wise choice? Wow, that's ridiculous. Or, seeing how much drinking water is important by knowing that, hey, if I work out, I can, lose 3 pounds worth of sweat. So I know I need to replenish that. So those types of things is why I do it. But again, here's the answer. The answer to the question: how often should you weigh in? How often should you weigh yourself? As often as it takes for you to get results and get in the right mindset. If weighing in daily or weighing yourself multiple times a day is going to help you stay on track and you're not going to obsess over it, then do it. If weighing in monthly is better for you because you don't want the scale to become your boss, then weigh yourself monthly. If you never want to weigh yourself, if you want to weigh yourself at the beginning of your journey, and then once you lose 30 inches, you're just curious and you want to weigh yourself again, that's fine. I used to work for a guy who lost a bunch of weight over like a year, and he didn't weigh himself. And after he had finished losing his weight, he got to where he wanted to be. Just by how he looked and how his clothes fit him and everything. He decided to weigh himself, and he says, wow, I lost 65 pounds over the last year. That he did not know how much he weighed. So, you know what, everyone's different, and so how often should you weigh yourself? As often as it takes, as often as you need to. No more, no less. Alright, that's my opinion on the subject. So you know what, leave me a comment, tell me how often do you weigh yourself, and why do you weigh yourself that often? Please tell me, even if it's something I mentioned here, please leave a comment and tell me how often you weigh yourself and why. I'm planning on writing an article about this, and all of your comments will appear in this article. And not only that, I will link back to your YouTube channel telling everybody to subscribe to you. So I don't know how much incentive that is. But on my website, I will write this article, giving advice and giving the pros and cons. I'll do a lot more than I did here. And I'm limited because I don't want to make a 30-minute video, but I can make it a 2,000-page article, a 2,000-word article if I want to. So again, I'll put all your comments in. Let me know how often you weigh yourself and why. And for those who never weigh yourself, or you've only weighed yourself like at the beginning of the journey, tell me what other things you do to try to keep track of your progress. Alright, so all I can say is please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed. Share this with people, especially people you know who are on a weight loss journey and who are struggling with this type of question, who are doing something because a plan tells them you weigh yourself a certain amount of time, and then they're struggling because they're either obsessing over it and they're getting discouraged, or they're going the other way and they're not weighing themselves enough, so they let themselves go a few weeks and until they see that big number on the scale and say, oh wow, what have I done to myself the last few weeks? So either way, share this please on your Facebook page, share it on Twitter, whatever, on your YouTube channel, and just giving this a little bit of advice and asking these questions, because then if people see this, they can read your comments, they can read everybody else's comments, and they can really develop a method and a system for themselves on weighing in, and I think it'll be very beneficial for their weight loss journey as it has been for mine. So do that. Follow me on Twitter, fatguy on Twitter.com. Like me on Facebook and connect with me there, fatguy on Facebook.com. On Pinterest, I'm sharing a lot of inspirational quotes, a lot of different types of workouts, a lot of health information, and of course recipes and everything. So fatguy on Pinterest.com. And then of course my YouTube channel. You can hit subscribe up there, but if you're not watching this on YouTube, then you can just go to fatguy on YouTube.com and you go right to my channel. Alright, fatguyskinnywallet.com is my website, and I'll see you guys later.